Sacramento Metro Real Estate Market. J. Emerson, Broker, DRE number 1788488. Placer County, Market Update, data is through November 30th, 2025, Emerson Real Estate. Real Estate Market Forces Model. The real estate market involves many participants. The heart of the market are buyers and sellers. The market is affected by many forces. All forces cannot be identified practically. The three most important words in real estate: timing, psychology, location. Fear and greed are forces in psychology. And now the results of the forces this month in Placer County. Definitions. New house was exposed as a listing during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, more selection. Pended, listing went pending during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward sellers, mine's next. Cancelled, listing was cancelled or expired during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, sellers are nervous. Sold, listing was sold during this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward sellers, encouraged. Active, listing is available at the end of this calendar month. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, more selection. Cumulative days on market, total number of days listing is active before going pending and selling. When higher than averages, leans toward buyers, market aging. Demand index minus supply index plus percent off median price high equals sweat index. Demand index equals pended year over year plus sold year over year. Supply index equals new year over year plus active year over year. The intent is to calculate the current market dynamics. A negative index is negative. Optimum sweat for a zip code is in the range of +30 to -30. Buyers are favored when the sweat index is negative. Supply index equals +6%, new listing index -2%, active listing index +8%. Demand index equals +1%, sold listing index -6%, pended listing index +7%. Sweat index equals -10%, favoring buyers. 54% of 146 months are inside the rest area. Last high was 168% in April 2021. Last low was -169% in December 2022. Inventory summary. Active listings equals 903, -13%, month over month, +8%, year over year. Sold listings equals 328, -27%, month over month, -6%, year over year. New listings equals 345, -33%, month over month, -2%, year over year. Pended listings equals 346, -14%, month over month, +7%, year over year. Cancelled listings equals 122, -3%, month over month, plus 13%, year over year. Sweat index, equals, minus 10%. Favoring buyers. Details. Page 1. Data elements gathered and derived. This month. How it compares to average, high, and low. 52. Zip codes. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Supply and demand. Lean score. Created to measure activity in each phase of a listing. Phases: new listing, active listing, pended listing, sold listing, canceled listing, and cumulative days on market. Cumulative days on market is the total number of days required to sell the listing. The variance between the current value of each data element and its short and long-term averages are calculated. A positive lean value leans toward seller, and negative value leans toward buyer, for a data item will be interpreted in different ways for each data element. The intent is to show who is favored, in the current market, based on the data. Lean score equals minus 0.8. Leaning toward buyers. 2. Lean toward sellers. 4. Lean toward buyers. Months of inventory equals 2.8 plus 19%, month over month, plus 16%, year over year. Last high was 4 in January 2015. Last low was 0.7 in December 2021. Market Activity Index. Created to compare zip codes regardless of time and money, uses calculations of sold, pended, new, active, canceled listings and number of offers. Supply and demand. Maximum is 100. Minimum is 0. Sellers are preferred in a market whose index is greater than or equal to 30. Market Activity Index equals 20. Favoring buyers, minus 22%, month over month, minus 3%, year over year. Last high was 100 in July 2021. Last low was 15 in January 2023, which is 82% of its 12-year November average of 24. New listings equals 345, minus 33%, month over month, minus 2%, year over year. Last high was 927 in May 2019. Last low was 207 in December 2023, which is 87% of its 12-year November average of 396. New listing index equals minus 2%. Last high was plus 45% in December 2020. Last low was minus 37% in April 2020. Pended listings equals 346, minus 14%, month over month, plus 7%, year over year. Last high was 735 in July 2020. Last low was 216 in December 2013, which is 92% of its 12-year November average of 377. Pended listing index equals plus 7%. Last high was plus 67% in April 2021. Last low was minus 42% in November 2022. Housing appetite. Appetite equals pended listings divided by new listings. Fresh demand over fresh supply. Overarching assumption is that the listings that are counted as new are also pended. Housing appetite equals 100%, 346, pended, 345, new, plus 27%, month over month, plus 9%, year over year. Last high was 128% in December 2019. Last low was 55% in May 2025, which is 106% of its 12-year November average of 95%. Cancelled listings equals 122, minus 3%, month over month, plus 13%, year over year. Last high was 252 in September 2014. Last low was 28 in February 2022, which is 108% of its 12-year November average of 113. Cancelled listing index equals plus 13%. Last high was plus 233% in November 2022. Last low was minus 61% in August 2020. Sold listings equals 328, minus 27%, month over month, minus 6%, year over year. Last high was 716 in July 2020. Last low was 212 in January 2023, which is 81% of its 12-year November average of 405. Sold listing index equals minus 6%. Last high was plus 84% in April 2021. Last low was minus 41% in April 2023. Number of offers equals 544, minus 12%, month over month, minus 5%, year over year. Last high was 5342 in July 2021. Last low was 242 in January 2014, which is 79% of its 12-year November average of 689. Offers per sold listing equals 1.7, plus 20%, month over month, plus 2%, year over year. Last high was 8.7 in July 2021. Offers index equals minus 5%. Last high was plus 266%, in July 2021. Last low was minus 86%, in July 2022. Sold, listing index, equals, minus 6%. Active, listings, equals, 903, minus 13%, month over month, plus 8%, year over year. Last high was 1,587, in July 2014. Last low was 354, in December 2021. Which is 102% of its 12-year November average of 884. Inventory index equals plus 8%. Last high was plus 109%, in June 2022. Last low was minus 56%, in March 2021. Housing absorption. Absorption simply represents how inventory is absorbed given this month's active listings and last month's sold listings. This calculation is the inverse of months of inventory. Sold over active. Active over sold. Housing absorption equals 36%, 328, sold, 903, active, minus 16%, month over month, minus 13%, year over year. Last high was 145%, in December 2021. Last low was 25%, in January 2015. Which is 72% of its 12-year November average of 51%. Cumulative days on market equals 61, plus 13%, month over month, plus 30%, year over year. Last high was 66, in January 2015. Last low was 12, in April 2021. Which is 146% of its 12-year November average of 42. 12-year November high. Median price equals 670,000, plus 2%, month over month, plus 3%, year over year. Median price 12-month moving average equals 666,000. No change, month over month, plus 1%, year over year. Median price momentum equals 0.9. 0.5, last month, minus 0.2, last year. Median price is minus 9%, off its last high of 738,000 in May 2022, plus 84%, off its 12-year low of 365,000 in December 2013. Calculation of dollar volume, 1 sale. Assuming all offers received were the same price. 1 sale. Assuming all offers received were the same price. Unrequited demand. Dollar volume. Total offered equals 401 million. Sold volume equals 262 million. Excess volume equals 139 million. Unrequited demand. Last high offered was 3.5 billion, with a B, in July 2021. Last low was 135 million, in November 2013.
By the way, I'm never too busy for your referrals.